actuals and without the analytics, I have no way of putting any of these things into perspective. I want to say that you've got 15 minutes. You want to make all your information relevant to the cause. And if it's not relevant, get rid of it. It's just got to be on point. Otherwise, you're just going to be wasting their time. You want the data that you be looking at to be apples to apples. You want to make sure that you're looking at things that are linked to each other. That makes sense. And you want to get rid of everything that's got nothing to do with anything. And you know what? I fixed this so that it didn't work, and it doesn't work this way. This is great. Okay. All right. Step 3. Step 1 was the background and the selection criteria. Step 2 was the issue and background. Step 3 is the recommendation. When you put together your recommendation, do not ever recommend something that you can't do. Please. Know up front that you can get it done. And if you can't do it, then make some other recommendation. Are you kidding? Oh yeah, I think we ought to go to Florida. Can we go to Florida? No. Well, then why are you making that recommendation? That's useless. We want it to be actionable. All right, we've all used the word actionable 125 million times since Obama got actionable information on Osama. He wanted to know, where is this guy? I want to shoot him. Telling me he's up in the hills isn't actionable. Telling me that he's somewhere in a cave isn't actionable. Telling me that he's somewhere in a bun isn't actionable. I need to know where he is, what's his address. When I go there, will I find him? How do I get there? It has to be actionable information. I've got to do. All right, so we all know what actionable is. Measurable, did I shoot him or not? And the metrics they kept giving us, they were giving us plenty of metrics in the whole story. Okay? How long were they on the How long were they on the ground? 45 minutes. 40 minutes. 38, right? 40 minutes. That's fine. Okay, yeah, I heard 38. It was like, whoa, those guys are really good. You know when they're all Navy SEALs, they got this. Okay? How many guys were there? 79? 24? There was a bunch of them. I kept trying to figure out, I don't know how they got all those guys on how many helicopters. Well, we had different numbers coming through. And then what happened with the metrics? Okay, did you watch the news reports? Well, we got these metrics from NBC, and we got these metrics from CBS, and we got these metrics from ABC, and then CNN came up with a different set of metrics. They're all just talking. They got different numbers.
We just have 6 on the ground here.
6 on the ground. Okay. Different metrics. We're used to that. Okay. The third part of the recommendation is that it's going to be time sensitive. We're going to be talking about some element of a time frame. It doesn't matter what the time frame is. It's your recommendation. You make the time frame, whatever you think you can make that time frame where you can get the job done. Now, sometimes, because we've all been in corporate life, they tell you what the time frame is. Okay, I've been working as a consultant 15 years. Even as an employee, I would just look at my boss and say, when do you want it? I never gave him a plan that I couldn't get done by that minute in time. He said he wanted it by 5 o'clock. He'd come walking up to me at 5 o'clock, and I would just say, anything done? I was really to the minute. All right. I used to find it took me years to train this guy that if he had decided at 2 o'clock in the afternoon he was taking an early train, which means he wanted it at 4:45 and not 5 o'clock, that he had to warn me. You can't just walk up to me at 4:45 when you told me the whole thing was due at 5 o'clock. But time, it just gives a frame of reference, and it's timing. And it helps everybody get a feel for what's going on. As a consultant, I will tailor the project, who are the clients, time frame. And if they say yes, but we want 5 rounds of the financial model, and I'll say, you ain't got that kind of time. We can't do that. I can give you 2 rounds, but I can't give you 5. Or they say, I talk to Dave and I say, when time, how many minutes do I get to stand up here in front of the group? Give me a clue. How many times have somebody not asked the question and thought they had your attention for 2 hours? After work? After dinner? All right, some of the issues that you want to address, and you'll see that on your slides, and I'm now talking about things that we talk about that you may or may not really, to me when I'm looking at these things, I'm thinking, did I get that in? Did I get that in? Or not? Strategic fit, does it make sense? I worked for the phone company. It didn't really make sense for us to talk about financial products, unless it was the products for the financial market. It's strategic fit. I like to do public speaking. I'm not going to, don't put me behind a desk and tell me I can't talk to people and think that we're going to have a fit. I'm going to have a fit. But it's not going to work if I'm creating a career for myself. I make sure I do enough to do what I want to do. That I like everything else about it in addition to the exact job. Strategic fit can mean anything. I learned a lot as a college student, and actually even in grad school. I was telling Dave a piece of the story. I worked as a Kelly girl. All right, for those of you who don't know what a Kelly girl is, they used to say, come in for X number of dollars an hour, and you type, or I did dictaphone. Okay. Sometimes I was filing. The thing that was really interesting to me is that no matter that the job description was the same in each and every environment that I was sent into as a Kelly girl, every job was completely different. Some were fun, some were work. I remember even to this day, the insurance company that handed you a dictaphone tape and said, there are 5 letters on this tape, it will take you 45 minutes. Because you're the Kelly girl, we'll give you 50. They had a bell that rang for everybody to take a break, and another bell that rang for everybody to go back to their classes. This was weird. And then there are other places where you just kind of saunter in, and they would just say, "Here, have a desk. Here's a bunch of stuff to do." And people would stop by and they would say hi and chat. It would be a lot of fun. And, I learned a lot about me as an individual and what kind of a company would make me happy. But in some ways, that's a lot about what strategic fit is. Benchmark. Part of me wants to take the slide out. The other part of me forgot. It's just a way of measuring stuff. It's, when I go to the doctor, I'm a basically healthy person. And so I go maybe for certain tests, maybe every 5 years. And I just say to the doctor, you need a benchmark. That's it. All right, here's what my blood pressure is year after year after year. If I come in walking in one day and it's like really off the wall, we have a benchmark so that he knows what the problem is. He'll say, well, I haven't seen you for 25 years. How am I supposed to know if this is a normal blood pressure for you or not? But if I'm coming in and every year we're getting a number, and then I walk in and there's a problem, we've got a benchmark. We know that something's not right. And that's how I treat my doctors. I'm just going in to give them benchmarks. Because someday some shit's going to happen and I'm going to need them to know who I am. Forget my language. All right, financial analysis. The money. A lot of times, when people think in terms of financial analysis, they think of really complex stuff. It's not complex. It's really easy. It doesn't have to be complex. The words are loaded. The words make you think it's complex. Okay? Someone here knows my brother and sister, and I said we're really different people. Okay? I can do a financial analysis. I can take a look at financials. You can start talking to me in numbers, and I go, okay. can start using the language of finance, and I go, okay. My older sister teaches preschool. She teaches them how to recognize the numbers on a piece of paper. Do not put more than 4 numbers on a piece of paper and expect her to not raise Always amazes her. I don't get it. I go, you teach them how to read these things, why can't you look at a bunch of them on a piece of paper and not freak out? She can do a financial analysis. She's a school teacher. You're the best. She can sit there and she can say, well, the book costs $2.22 if I went over here and $2.53 if I go over there. But if I go to this third resource, I can get it for $2 and I can also get it. Teachers are incredible. But they don't think of what they're doing as a financial analysis. But that's what they're doing. My brother is a statistician. He loves those numbers. He's just always manipulating and sitting around in circles upside down and backwards. Don't show him a bank statement. As much as he loves numbers, he doesn't want to look at a bank statement. He just wants to know that the money is there in the bank for what he wants to do when he wants to do it. Does he know about financial analysis? You bet. Rich, it's time to get a new pair of shoes. This is a true conversation. This was Monday. Sunday. Okay, Rich, it's time to get a new pair of shoes. You think? Yeah, the leather's cracked. Oh, well, I was thinking I might get them repaired. Yes, you repaired them before. Yes. And how much did that cost? Oh, about half the price of the shoes. I said, and you're going to do that again? Well, I was thinking that didn't make a lot of sense. So thank you for telling me it's time to buy a new pair of shoes. He was doing the financial analysis in his head. He could not come to a conclusion. All right, Mary and I were over at SCORE. We volunteer. We do some volunteer stuff. Saturday morning, we're coming out of the door, and we're thinking, boy, we're hungry. Let's eat. Okay? Restaurant across the street is El Rey. So I'm with Mary, and I'm with a guy by the name of Larkin, and then the 3 of us are walking out the door, and it's like, what are we doing going over to El Rey? It's a Saturday morning. We're hungry. Well, what? No, El Rey. It's a Steven Star restaurant. It's going to be $30 a person. We don't want to spend $30. Oh, no. We just want to eat. I said, okay, you want Mexican? Yeah. Okay. Well, there's Qdoba around the corner. We can go there, we can eat. Nothing involved. All right? I'm thinking about that today because in those couple of minutes, we ran through strategic fit, benchmark, financial analysis, and planning assumptions concerning what did we want to do for lunch. We did a financial analysis. But I don't think anybody in this room would think that the decisions that they're making over dinner are a financial analysis, and they're trying to decide where to go. One person says, I'm broke, someone else is flush with money and says, oh, $300 for dinner, no big deal. You're doing the financials, you're doing numbers. That's what it is. It doesn't have to be complex, it doesn't have to take more than a minute. You're figuring it out. When you're making a recommendation to someone, give them some dollars, give them some money, tell them what it's going to cost. Even if all you're going to do is say, oh, all we do is send out an email, it won't cost anything. Oh, okay, great. Risk tolerance, yours and theirs. I have a high risk tolerance when it comes to not knowing what's next. I worked at the phone company. They called it, and they had measures, all these HR people, they're all HR people, they have all these measures. Okay? High capacity for the unknown. I didn't understand how high my capacity was for the unknown until I became an independent consultant and sometimes had no clue as to where the next time came from. And I remember walking down the street one day and saying, that's what happened. But I have no risk tolerance for trying another hairdresser. None. I wanted to have my hair cut. I had a choice. I could try it. My guy's out of town for 2 weeks, taking care of his mom. So here was my choice. I could go to a shop and go to a second in command and say, hey, John, give me a haircut. Or I can wait